said, how would things be different if Sam's mom was still alive? And like Ben kind of like brought that up. And like on page 142, Sam's dad states if Teresa was here, we wouldn't even be in this mess in the first place. And I feel like it's like hard to look at this from like the mom being dead for them, and like if she wasn't dead, how she'd treat Sam having a child, or if she was alive and Sam never even had a child in the first place. So I feel like it's easier to say if like Sam's mom was alive, like maybe Sam would talk to her more about like sex and like his girlfriend and stuff. Maybe they'd never even get into that predicament in the first place. So I feel like maybe he'd come to his mom more and tell his mom about like what's going on in his life instead of getting into like that situation at all.
I agree with Sarah. On page 152, it says, if your mother, ... he stopped to include his throat. I have always known this was my fault too, Sam. So I think this shows that if his mom was still here, like, she would have talked to Sam about like teen pregnancies and having sex with girls instead, because Mitch is more like introverted, like silent, doesn't like to talk as much.
I would agree. I think that Sam's life would have been completely different. Like on page 141, Anshin said that if Teresa would have wanted the SATs, so the future for Sam, like the idea for the future of Sam was completely different between the mother and father. So I think that support system of having his mother want him to go to college and want him to be successful would have changed how Sam was completely.
Yeah, so I have a question on page 142. It says, just like Zaina, it says, if Teresa was here, we wouldn't be in this mess, but do you actually think so, or do you think Sam would have still got pregnant? Because I feel like, I don't know, even if Sam had that mother figure, I think you're just a dumb kid and it's a mistake, but I don't think she would have made a difference, and I think he still would have had Max. I think his home life after he had Max would have been better if Teresa was there.
I agree with that. I feel like at the end of the day, like you're gonna make the decision to have sex, yes or no, whether or not your mom's alive or dead. Like Sam would have still like slept with Brittany, and maybe we still would have had that baby. But like things would just be different with how they're raising Max. The mom would be there to help more. Yeah. She'd be there for like help him, like put him to bed, like the scheduling and everything. So I feel like at the end of the day, it's like 50-50. He might have had his son, might have not, even if his mom was here or not. So
like she also would have like helped with like payments and stuff, like and then like would you think that Sam would be able to go to college if there was two parents like working for money to send Sam to college and have like daycare for Max?
Well, I think that Teresa would have definitely cared for Max as he went to college, so he wouldn't have need to pay for daycare, which is really expensive. So that's probably why he could have gone to college, because he has his mom that he can give
free
Max to, free daycare while he goes to college.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, throughout the book, especially on page 140 through 142, we see that his dad's not really a warm kind of guy, and Max and Sam really don't have that in life, like or in their life, sort of a warm, loving influence. And I mean, eventually we see sort of his dad warm up, and he says he's proud of him, and at the end he helps him with the decision, and he really is there for him. But he hasn't really been with him for the time coming up to that. So I think it would be drastically different with his mom there. I mean, from what we can tell, Teresa was a very loving, warm person. So I think it really would have influenced how they raised Max. I don't necessarily think it would have changed if he would have had a baby or not, but Max's and Sam's life after the baby, I think, would be much, much different if she was in there.
Going back to what Zaina said earlier about the mom like being helpful and stuff, I think she would have been very helpful, because in page 146 she stays with Sam while he's fishing, and she helps him with everything. And I just think she would have just been really helpful with Sam and Max by taking care of him and making sure that Sam got everything he needs and that he has an education.
Yeah, I agree, because like the mom was like very sick when she like was fishing, and like she could have decided like not to go, but she wanted to be there for Sam and like make her life like last, like count.
I personally think that if Teresa was still to be in the picture, picture, things would have been really different. I used
Yeah.
Luke's example when Mitch said that if she were there, they wouldn't be in that mess, because on chapter 18, we see how their lives were when Teresa was still in the picture, and then even when she was sick in her bed, she spent a lot of time with Max, and you could see the bond that they had together, and she just would have been there for Sam, and like could have prevented everything from happening.
I think it wouldn't change like the fact that he had the baby, because it's like Xana said, like a last minute kind of thing. But I think like after their mom kind of like, I think she would push Sam to do the SATs, and then I also think like she was more caring and like with the kids, like as he was being raised, and like would help with Max more, and like since she already raised Sam, and like their dad was kind of off working, so he wasn't as close, and like didn't have the bond that the mom had.
Sort of a shorter question anyway, so we